Well, I know it's dark. Sorry about that. Trying to keep the lighting and cool in this place. It's about 10:19 Pacific Standard Time in the morning. It's still the 16th of June 2023. We were down in Roseman, California. I was just seeing a bit of an article on CNN regarding Minneapolis PD being chastised by Garland. And I think these people have got themselves screwed up a little bit. There was a former police official that they were interviewing, and hell, he was trying to compare a few things in the 21st century, but this guy forgot what happened in the 91 and 92 riots we had out here in Los Angeles. There was a mad driver going across town, San Fernando Valley, that the cops were chasing after. Hell, you could listen to it on the police scanner. The cops are going crazy on this one. I wish we had recordings of that thing. I would have loved listening to it. I love listening to police chases. Problem is, this particular riot started when we had them in 1992 over this damn chase. Excessive force regarding the arrest and beating of Mr. Rodney King, drunk out of his ass. And he finally gets stopped in Sun Valley with about several units in there, and about 4 officers, or it's like 7 officers before, got caught in the camera, and they're watching this guy. This guy's finally testing his new camera. He's happy about it. And he's filming it outside of his apartment window along a street where the whole situation took place. And they were showing 4 officers beating the crap out of this guy. I mean, they were just beating the living crap out of this guy. I don't know if they actually had any audio on this one. But he was too damn drunk to cooperate. But somehow he's doing this escape and evade on the cops in the car. And he gets out, and they don't treat him as a drunk belligerent. No, they just got their rage out and just beat the crap out of him. To the point where he's almost in a coma. Finally got an ambulance out there, took the guy over to the hospital. And he had a severe concussion, but he was going to be recovering during that time. And the tape was sent. Let's face it, Rodney King got his ass beat. Guy already had a record, as it is. They were telling about this one in a court hearing. Well, prior to that, the guy who got everything else on camera, he took it over to the local television station. And they looked at it. They were shocked. They saw everything on it, what happened. And they decided to play it. So, KTLA was one of the stations at the time, took the film, and played the damn thing. Everyone else wanted to get a piece of this thing. So when they did the story, apparently LA City Council, not to mention the police chiefs, and the county board of supervisors went ape on this one. Everyone went into damage control. Mayor Tom Bradley already had a problem with Chief Darrell Gates at the time. Gates and Bradley went after each other left and right. There were certain things that Gates was getting away with that Bradley wasn't having. Tom Bradley was a former police officer in the LAPD. Rose his way through the ranks to get to the mayorship. Nicest guy you could ever meet, my brother told me. I wish I had met the guy. Darrell Gates I never had a chance and never wanted to talk to in the first place. That guy scared the hell out of me. But he was coming up through the ranks and he made police chief. But he was a rough and tumble police chief. Didn't do things anything by the book, but he allowed his guys to get away with some stuff, and the city council wigged on this one. So did Bradley. And they went to blows on this one. Verbally went to blows on this one. The situation was caught by the feds. Feds looked at the tape, and they're looking at them saying, "We got a civil rights issue here. You guys got to clean up house." What had happened in a process, in a long-ass process, is that we had LAPD being torn asunder by the federal and being put back together again. I was in the San Fernando Valley at the time. I was living in an area called Sepulveda, along Woodley between Nordoff and Parthenia Street. Is that by ringing me? Keep forgetting that damn street we're right next to it. It was a nice neighborhood too. There's a story concerning about how Sepulveda had to split because the property values had to be let's just face it, property values all over the damn valley sucked. But Sepulveda wanted them changed, and the people on the west side wanted to call themselves North Hills, and on the other side they still called themselves Sepulveda. There was a petition, and they got Sepulveda changed. Sepulveda was not on the east side until later on in the years that they got themselves realigned with North Hills. Everyone else's property values still went sucked. But the property owners wanted that in the first place. They wanted their area the property values rise up because what the reputation of Sepulveda was like. There was a lot of reputations in the San Fernando Valley that you stayed away from, and other places you just drive through, and other places you lived in. And they still became sucky. I know, because I'd seen it. Seen a lot of it. Growing up in that valley for nearly 40 years, give it, take out a couple of years anyway. And I'd seen the values. I'd seen the properties that they had all around the place. Not just on a map. You drive, walk, ride a bike through areas. Some areas you just avoided like the plague. Take buses throughout the area. I was an avid bus rider for that one. So here I am out of work during this time. 4 years at a retail. Get set up by an asshole. Kicked out. Stress, job stress wild. And I was really stressed out. I was headaches and upset stomach like crazy. They prescribed me Xanax. I'm like, no. I don't trust doctors with shit. So here I am helping my mother's business. She's running an income tax bookkeeping business. She's on the starting ground floor, and she's busting her ass left and right trying to get more clients. She had an office, and we're watching on television what's happening. We had seen a situation happen back in, 91, that the thing happened. March of 91. We'd seen this on the televisions before I got, relocated from the company, shall I call it. Back in March. And we're talking about this thing for a bit until a little bit of the hoopla died. We still had to work on stuff, but at home, that was a conversation on some occasions. Because we'd see it pop up at different news stations all over the place. And cable was picking it up on it. And cable was talking about it. And the federal government was trying to do something about it. And then they finally get these officers charged. They finally get them through the court system. And we're finally going to be seeing this long-ass process of them bouncing from one venue to another venue up to down state of California. Nobody wanted to touch them except for Simi Valley. Simi Valley at the time was very sympathetic to law enforcement. Hell, if you're law enforcement, hell, you're going everywhere else in Southern California. Safest damn community at the time. Who would mess around with a community full of cops and firefighters? The ones that patrolling the streets of Los Angeles were coming from Simi Valley. It was sold. And we had talked to the other people about that one. It was, yeah, they were coming from Simi Valley. A nice, safe community over here. What could go wrong? Holy shit. Boy, did we screw that one up. So, here it comes in 92. We get the trial going on. And then we have fun with it. This was this was a criminal thing. These cops are going to go through the criminal first before they go to the civil rights, civil case. Get tried by the feds on that one. But it was the local one that let them off. All 4 officers on this shit. And blasted, it was I hated going through this damn shit. I hated seeing what the hell was going on. It was one thing when you listen to a police scanner and you see and you hear the stuff going on before the internet happened. You know, you listen to the Radio Shack, Tandy police scanners, a lock under their channels, and you're listening to them and like, oh Dave, look at this, listen, and we're like, but did we ever realize that we had listened to Rodney King going crazy at that point? Did we actually understood that? Nope, because we just bypassed the whole damn thing. Oh shit. Four officers. All of them out of the, I mean, there was maybe about 1 or 2 rooks. The rest of them were senior. Now, they had the controversy, they had the problems with the venues, and then they had jury selection. That took them a couple of weeks for the jury selection at the point, trying to find out who was going to be somewhat sympathetic or not sympathetic. And were they going to be able to do a conviction rate on this one. So here we go. Several months of listening to this damn shit. George Holliday, I'm going to mention. He was the one that put the video out there. He just got his camera and he's watching the whole damn beating shit, which launched him into infamous fame at this point. It was a little bit of a memorial salute. God rest George Holliday. COVID knocked his ass out permanently in 2021. God rest your soul, George. God rest your soul. People saw this damn thing. They were having freakouts left and right. The city's not quite sure what the hell to do about their damn cops. But it was L.A. It was going to be ground zero for all this damn shit happening. I'm going through a page right now on Wikipedia about it. They were talking about it in great detail about it. Took them long enough, but the city decided to roast their ass. 4 officers. They know that they're going to have political backlash on this damn thing, but they didn't realize what kind of a community backlash they had on this damn thing. It was scary as hell watching this damn shit go. I mean, a separation with the company back in 91, around October, September, October. And during this time, they're just getting set up for any other kind of commission going on. We're seeing and we're listening to all this stuff happening. This is like, what the hell's going on these days? Ma and I, we turned on the news. For several months we've been watching this going on. We'd see Channel 11 doing a live version of this damn thing. We're watching all of it. It was a routine for us. Since I got terminated and I'm working with Ma's office, we took breaks by watching all this damn shit. In between customers. Even the customers would be talking about it. We didn't realize there were parts of the valley and LA City were ready to go up again. I mean, hell, was it back in the 60s they had their own version of it? Hell on Earth in South Central. Now it's going to be going up again. Shit. Dave got a job at a oil refinery at the place, near South Central. Schlub work, but, it was a job for him anyway. He was in between jobs, so what the hell. Me, I was on stress leave. But I could help out my mother, learn a new job skill, and just stay out of trouble. Yeah, right, until we saw it. And then we're seeing this, and then we're seeing the acquittal. My brother was going to work that night. But he was watching it on some occasions when he could. And watching the clips, and he's like, oh my God, we're going to be in for it. Now the thing is, my family didn't grow up in Los Angeles. In the city of Los Angeles. My brother was born in Dallas, Texas. Long story on this one. I had videos talking about my brother's history on this one. But Ma bounced him from one place to another place. Upper Northern California down to the San Fernando Valley. Got him in Huntington Park living with an aunt, uncle, and 3 girls. They considered them as sisters. Somehow in 1968, he got situated in San Fernando Valley. Dave, I don't know if he ever saw the riots on film, what the hell happened in Los Angeles. But I saw the riots in '92. There was a commission report made overseeing and overwatching the commission report. What was it? I was trying to get to it. Christopher Commission. God, nightmare this was. Yeah, they had overall Los Angeles Police Department. They really had overall it from the top down. Right after the frickin' riots. I mean, they had to do it. They made the reports. The reports were made. At the same time, the cops get acquitted. Ma and I were looking at this damn thing. It's like, oh boy. I'm looking at her, goes, what? He goes, not again. I didn't realize what the hell she meant. We had watched this thing going on for about 4 or 5 months. And then we see the acquittal. Outside there was celebration for the supporters of the 4 cops. Within an hour, the choppers were in the air watching things go, and then Florence and Normandy went all hell. Ma and I were watching this thing. In the safety and comfort of North Hills, did we realize that San Fernando, Pacoima, Van Nuys, and maybe another portion of the San Fernando Valley was also going up? My brother was stuck during the night, working a night shift over at the oil factory, oil refinery. He heard. He heard. He hid. They locked up their area. And all hell broke loose in Los Angeles. Come on, I didn't know what the hell was going on. We locked up and we hunkered. We're watching the news. We were seeing that a truck driver, original Denny, I think, gets his ass pulled out of a truck and beaten the shit out of. Somebody actually ran out to save his ass. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of buildings burning during that time. And the cops were overwhelmed. No one took and no one understood what the hell was going on. Chief Gase was at some kind of damn convention or a conference out in Las Vegas. There was no way he was going to be getting back home safe and sound at that point. If there was an emergency jet authorized or helicopter, it wouldn't be getting back in time to see LA burning. So the police chiefs had to hunker. And the divisions had to barricade themselves. The cops outside were scared shitless, and they didn't have the weaponry necessary. How the hell do you deal with an angry mob who got angry and frustrated at the police department who mistreated them for decades and still showed the contempt? They had enough. The citizens in the county of Los Angeles went nuts. Mostly in South Central, where Florence and Normandy area and surrounding communities went. We're seeing businesses going up. Not homes, businesses. But even homes were coming out with people with guns ready to shoot anybody else. The scatter was crazy. Dave had his police scanner with him in his car just to keep track of what the hell was going on, so somehow he'd be able to get home when his shift ended. And there was also the call for National Guard to come out. Oh yeah, you can get the personnel for the National Guard out there. The problem is they didn't have any teeth in their weapons. You want to talk about upset here? The civil rights federal court case against the 4 officers, not to mention indirectly at LAPD and the commission, had to make the changes in the city and county, and hoping to God we'd never have this situation again. We had to change a police chief into a politician, from a street cop to a guy with a business suit tailored to his specifications. Willie Williams, what a pain in the ass. God, I didn't like this asshole for one thing. I didn't like him, period. But he was a politician. He was kissing ass to city and county. Wasn't exactly helping the city much anyway on that one until we got Bratton from, what was it, New York Transit Authority? Police chief for that one. No nonsense, and he helped really change Los Angeles police on that one. But I swear, this was a nightmare. I had been afraid of going outside the door after the riots, and I'm looking around the neighbors wondering whether or not they're going to be do some skull thumping or not. It had taken me a long while to get myself relaxed enough where I could be feeling the city, but still be on my guard. LAPD and the LA sheriffs haven't put themselves in that situation, but damn close. And they had to be caught on it. They had to be. They had to catch themselves off guard and had to keep checking on themselves to see whether or not if they were doing things right. Every time there's been a riot ever since, every time every city that's actually had law enforcement issues, and they had to have trials on this damn thing, I kept thinking, please, get these guys put away. But, even if they put them away, you still have the problem. You still have the problem. You still have the problem. It's epidemic in every damn city we got, every major and minor. The badge is authority. Badge is not to be taken lightly. The badge is like, I got the power, you don't, and I'm going to skull thump your ass. There's supposed to be a responsibility with the badge. You swore to uphold the laws. Okay, fine. But you are not Judge Dredd. Fictional English superhero character in the 60s and 70s, icon lived throughout the decades to this day in various reincarnations, dealing with the scorched earth, pollution, wars, turn the whole fertile planet into a damn wasteland, and several major super metropolitans out there have to compete and survive. And you have the judges, law enforcement, judge, jury, executioner, all rolled up in one. It's a hell of a system. We did this to ourselves. In reality, we did this to ourselves. Seeing how some of these cops are still doing this kind of shit, doesn't matter which particular town they are, up in northern Connecticut, all the way to Los Angeles, to San Diego, it doesn't matter which particular community. They still got this badge heavy mentality going on. As much as they meant to do the public a great deal of service, the problem is it's not enough. There's a lot of things we ask about the police officers and law enforcement out there. We want them to help protect and serve, but the problem is sometimes we have to put binding rules and regulations because of that much authority they have to do to enforce the laws. The actions that they do scare the hell out of people left and right, and we're afraid of situations where we're going to be going into riot situations where we're going against the authority that we still wanted to have in the first place, and we still are, from the local level all the way up to the federal. Problem is, human beings chafe at authority because we feel like we're, I don't know, we're too damn good for it, but we need the authority to keep us in check, because if not, everything else is chaos and anarchy and everything else going crazy. And when we see the reactions, it's no wonder some people actually are afraid to be cops. And because absolute power corrupts absolutely. Some people admire Judge Dredd because of that kind of situation, and you keep remembering you got autocratic societies doing the same damn shit. They think of the 20th and 21st century. I'm thinking about, go back centuries and millenniums of human conditioning. That helps when you study history. It scares the hell out of you. It scares the hell out of me, especially when I keep seeing authority going through moments and epochs of history. We chafe at it. We need it. We don't want it. It's a straitjacket, but keeps us aligned and keeps us in check. But then how much of authority anyway? We keep talking about rebellion. We want a free, free, free. But there's always got to be a price to it. There's always a price for it. Constantly keeping us in check is the price for our freedom. If we can't keep ourselves in check, we become the very tyrants we hate to see. I'm 57 years old, and I'm seeing all this shit happening. I read. Time to time I'll come across an article I need to see, I need to hear about. The books coming out these days from other people talking about politics of this day and their history, their own version of histories. They're important. There's a lot of them. But they got their own viewpoints out there. Some of them may be twisted because of our own viewpoints are not looking at it through their own eyes. And I have to keep remembering. I have to keep remembering about the crystal. Easier said, Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd, the symbol that they use. The crystal, one light going through the crystal, and you see the rainbow afterwards. The refraction. We have all of our shared point of views, how things are supposed to be, and yet the truth is right in front of us, broken down. Different combinations, we get up at different combinations of viewpoints left and right, but we get everything else lined up. Maybe we'll get to the truth. I hope. One can only hope.